Hello and welcome to Get a Grip, the occupational therapy podcast where OT takes center stage. I'm Cielo.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Lisa. And today we're going to be discussing something big. OT professional identity and how it affects all of us, from the practitioners to the students to the patients and the clients.
If it's important and meaningful to your daily life, it is an occupation. And if it's an occupation, obviously OT is involved.
Alright, let's start with the basics. Because everyone thinks that OT is like we're just a hand people.
Right? Like OT is holistic healthcare. We address emotional regulation, mental health, cognition, sensory processing, daily living skills, you name it.
Workplace too, and ergonomics. We're everywhere, even when a lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly. We work on everything from brushing teeth to managing anxiety to navigating public spaces. OT is literally woven into everyday life.
And that blows my mind because OT is in every single setting you can think of. OT touches hospitals, schools, rehabs, home health, pediatrics, you name it.
This is why advocacy matters. One of the things that we learned early in our program is that our jobs go way beyond helping people do tasks or teaching skills. Yes, we help individuals, but we also have a responsibility to promote access, fairness, and participation on a larger scale. It's not just something our professors say, it's literally embedded in our OT codes of ethics. Yeah. The beneficence teaches us, tells us we need to act, sorry,
Okay.
actively promote the well-being of our clients. Justice reminds us that we have to advocate for equitable access to COAM, and veracity pushes us to accurately represent what OTs can do, especially when people overcome us in certain areas.
We're using no cards, guys, but it's okay. Just bear with us. It's our first episode of Get a Grip, right?
Get a grip.
Get a grip, Olivia. I'm just kidding. So we're going to go ahead and go into why OT is essential in every setting.
So this leads to the big issue being that OT, as of right now, is being very consistently disregarded and not considered a professional degree, which I believe makes zero sense because it is a professional degree that prepares you for licensed regulated practice like nursing, PT, pharmacy, all of those fall under that same category.
Yeah, we still get lists off of professional classifications.
Like taking your pet, your dog, your cat, your animal child is considered an IADL, which is an instrumental activity of daily living.
OT helps you manage your lives and with that, your pets' lives.
Therefore, that's why I believe that anything such as like veterinary and all of that won't really have a big outcome if OT doesn't come first, because at the end of the day, that's what we do every single day.
So like OT is like very well put, as our teachers say. If we didn't say before, we're all OT students. We're studying right now to get our AA in Certified Occupational Therapy Assistant. And yeah, like I don't know. I went into it not knowing what it is, and now that I know what it is, like I want to know everything, and I want to do all these things. Because OT you can literally apply it to almost every single job. Like what you touched on earlier, Rebecca, was ergonomics, and that's something that I think is really important. Like in any of the factories that you work in, even to like the NFL teams right now, like if they get injured, PT, physical therapy, can most likely help them like get back to using their limb or whatever was injured, but we focus more on the fine motor skills. Like if I was a football player and I injured my hand, and now my hand I can move it, but my fine motor skills in my fingers, like I can't
Grasp it.
I can't get a grip.
Get a grip.
Yep. So that's like a really important thing that I feel like they don't touch on. And if we don't educate ourselves in what OT is, then we can't really inform as much. But I think that's what we're getting to in the future, right, guys?
Yes. So the outcomes speak for themselves, just that this field so far has not gotten the recognition that it deserves overall.
And it is really frustrating because when you look at everyday things, like you said earlier, taking your pet to the vet is an IADL. It's an instrumental activity of daily living. It's something that we provide to somebody else that happens every day that they need, you know, and whether it's managing your medications, organizing your home, getting dressed, advocating for yourself, all of those things are things that OTs assess, treat, and support.
All right, so let's talk about the main reason on why we're here today talking to you about OT as a profession. Um, so, dragging into the politics, but recently a new list of professions came out, and there were a lot of them that were left out. On the list include pharmacy, veterinarian, law, obviously doctor, medicine. That excluded a lot of other professions like teaching, nursing, and OT. Right now, we as OT practitioners and students, you know, who are the students, we're fighting for our field to be recognized as a profession. And the first impact it's going to be is on education, like on OT school.
So I actually brought some facts. So according to AOTA, and for those who don't know, that's the American Occupational Therapy Association. Um, Unless OT programs are formally recognized as professional under the Department of Education, then for upcoming students, that could mean that it could be very much financial trouble, given that the amount of loans, financial aid, and all of that help is really going to go downwards, and it's not going to be as helpful as it has been so far, just because of the level this profession is being put on.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the professions that got included in that list don't have the rigorous education like those of OT, nursing, and teaching. And it's a huge problem, in my opinion at least, because it's going to affect like funding, reimbursements of insurances, Medicaid, field work, hiring, educational programs. Like it's gonna topple down like a domino effect, you know?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, like, as soon as that education gets severely affected, that just means everything else under it as well. A lot of people just are gonna be on that wait list because there's gonna be less OTs in the field. People are not gonna be able to get the treatment they need. So it really isn't a good thing that our profession is no longer considered professional, or at least they're trying to do that.
How's OT school going for you guys?
I
It's hard.
Yes. And overall, I can't say it's easy. Um, I guess there's like a whole process to everything. There's a lot to do, a lot to really memorize and learn, because at the end of the day, we're gonna have patients in our hands, and we have made sure that, I mean, they're doing okay and not mess things up. So it's kind of nerve wracking, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nerve wracking. I would say it's way different than what I was going to expect. I mean, I haven't been to school in what, 5 years. I never thought I'd be doing math again, freaking learning about the whole body, but it's worth it. I think I think it's good that we're in this program, what we want to do. Um, but it comes with a lot, and you have to be willing to do it. Like they say, if school were easy, everyone would do it. If college were easy, everyone would do it. If OT were easy, everyone would do it.
What about you, Cielo?
I think for me, I realized so much because I used to be a PT major, physical therapist. I was trying to get my bachelor's in physical therapy, but I think starting here, you don't really like realize how much goes into it because PT had nothing to do with like a mental. Like, yes, it was mental because like
No
sometimes
shade.
patients wouldn't want no
No
shade. Sometimes patients wouldn't want to do their treatments or something, and it goes into like a depression kind of thing, like those kind of things. But this like I never realized it was so useful, like so important for everybody, like for literally but everybody can benefit from OT, I think, because anything you struggle with, whether it's mental, whether it's like forming a routine or just like figuring out how to do something that you've been struggling with, and OT can help you. And it's so cool to like think that one day we're going to be that help, you know.
I
It's
don't
really
know if
cool.
this is just me, but ever since I've been in the program, I've seen a lot of ways that OT can help my family.
That
So
I'm like, yeah,
it's I'm excited.
I mean, you
Mhm.
can relate it up to a lot,
So much.
Yes,
but
a whole lot.
people who don't really know about this profession, they don't get to see it from the way and the perspective we do
Yeah.
as students.
Mm-hmm.
What did Miss Baxley say about OT? That it was like
With PT,
yeah.
PT makes you walk, but OT makes you dance. There we go.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. And that's another thing is that our teachers are like really knowledgeable about what they're
Yes.
teaching us. So like any type of question that we have, even if it's like a hypothetical, those are my favorite
Yes.
kind of questions. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, what about this and what if this? Like I'm a little devil's advocate, but they always have an answer that makes sense, and it has to do with what we're learning right now. Like we're taking A&P, anatomy and physiology, and I've never felt smarter. Yeah,
I was good last time. Something great last time.
Are you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but it's hard.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine like yeah, you guys are right. Like this can be applied to anything. So even if for whatever reason I did something else with my life, just being in OT school like is gonna help me help so many people and even myself. Like you know they say like, oh, you gotta lift with your legs and not with your back. Like that's like the obvious stuff, but now I kind of know the reason why. I'm the type of person where I need to know like why.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like to be told that something is true or not true or what to do and not have a good reason. But since this is like our anatomy and it has to do with our psychology too, which y'all are taking psychology. I'm not taking it, but
I'm not in it either.
it's so interesting. What you have something to say about it?
Oh no, I'm not in psychology.
No?
So I'm like,
It's difficult.
it's hard. I hear so
I'll
much
tell you,
about
it's
it.
difficult. There's just so many things you actually have to learn, and like how to interpret different things. So yeah, it's quite the thing.
OT also helps with mental health. Like there's an example that I don't know if you guys heard. Like I had made a project and I gave the example of a college student who was having severe anxiety about the transition of being from high school to college, and the workload is like crippling, and it added to his anxiety. He didn't want to pursue it anymore, and OT helps with things like time management, with financial. How did they say like organizing your finances and helping you also to gain those skills that you might not have learned from other people in your past. You know, like I don't know about you guys, but in high school, no one ever taught me about taxes. No one taught me how to pay my bills. Like I have to learn that stuff on my own now, and it's so hard. But it's always better to have a helping hand and someone to ground you without having to, you know, like you can't just put it all in the scope of psychotherapy or, you know, which if that's cool, you know, like I went to a therapist once too, but there's just some things that have to do with functionality that those other types of therapy can't really help you with.
And I generally do believe that's why this profession should be considered like professional, because at the end of the day, we're not only helping physically, but it's also mentally. And there's so many more like in-depth details about this profession and how they help a person. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want that person to feel like they're living their life at their best and however they want to do it.
And I'm gonna stop talking real quick. I just want to say this. I was thinking about who our audience is, and we're trying to appeal to the youth, because what I thought about when I saw that list come out was like how small the pool is of choices that the youth are gonna have when they're graduating and thinking about what they want to do. Of course, everyone wants to be successful, but if you can only be successful in these 10 to 15 areas, then I mean you're gonna have a lot of lawyers and a lot of vets and chiropractors and not a lot of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why this is important is like what Rebecca was saying, is that this all goes into educational funding. You know, like we all took out loans, I'm sure, and we're all paying for school. And we would just be considered like a certification.
I was about to say, won't like if we are considered just a certification, won't our um, loans be lower? Don't they cut like
No.
or
No,
they just cut it out completely?
if you're trying to get certified, like I know we're called certified occupational therapy assistants, but we have to get our AA. We have to get some type of degree. I know that for most certificates, like this is just an example. I'm not conflating the two, but for example, like forklift certified. That's something that you take a class for. Excuse me, and you pay out of pocket for that. You can't go to FAFSA and ask for financial aid to be forklift certified. And that's just going to decrease like the quality of care that we're going to be giving our patients who require OT.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes from all ages and all backgrounds. So this is like indiscriminatory help that you can give to anyone and everyone who needs it. But if just anyone can do it, you know, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and I think like it's already discouraging to a lot of like younger people or like people who are barely getting into college and stuff, knowing that you have to already take out loans and all of that, and then now even more knowing that this little help that you could have gotten has decreased or is going to decrease. Like I think that's just going to be very affecting on these young kids, not only the young ones. I mean, there's also a lot of older people who are still pursuing their education and just looking back and thinking, well, I'm not going to get any help, this is going to be out of my own pocket. I think that's just going to bring rates down.
Yeah, and then not even to sound selfish, but like, sorry, we're literally in our first semester. Yeah, I mean it's ending in like what, freaking 2 weeks or something like that. But this is our first semester. We just decided to do this, and now look, you know.
You literally said that when we read off like the list.
I
We
did?
were talking. Yeah, you said that in class.
And, yeah, like
Yeah, you were so real for that.
clock that.
Yeah, so I think just overall communities lose when occupational therapy is getting sidelined.
Occupational therapy is it's so important that so many people don't realize it, but I have it here because this was very important to me. OT is function, OT is independence, and OT is participation. And that's at every single level, at physical level, at a cognitive level, at an emotional level. OT is there. And by listing it as not a professional degree, it's just shutting us out. And that means our voices aren't going to be in the places where they need to be, where they should be. And that's not okay.
Do you think it would be cool for everyone to know our ages so that they know the scope of people who are coming into the
Yeah, we're a little variety here. Yeah.
Okay, I'm 45. No, just kidding.
Use sunscreen. No, because you look young. That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, that's a secret.
Okay, how old are you, Rebecca?
I am 19.
I'm 21.
I'm 24.
And I'm 25.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
believe it or not, like obviously among our class, there's a very diverse age range. So like we're all from different ones, and I think that's also like a very like misconception. You do not have to be like fresh out of high school to pursue a career like this. There's many different ways. You can take as long as you want, and yeah, that's why here I think we have more or so a similar like age, but we've definitely like been around older people or younger people as well.
And we all have different walks of life. I'll tell you from experience. Yes, we all have different walks of life, and we also have experience. Maybe if it's not an OT, but we've seen things that make us like, okay, like this is perfect. I think our class is perfect for this program. Makes sense?
Which I think it's good.
The cohort.
Shout out to the Moonstones. Hey.
So I think that's like a good thing to put out there, just because I think it's very like I would feel seen knowing that like even if I don't know anything about it and I just want to go into the field, I can without thinking like that. Like other people are already like doing something else or they already have experience. Because I myself came into this field not having experience at all, but so far I'm really enjoying it and I think it's going to be a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well said, you guys.
Well said. Well, ladies, let's let the people know what they can do today.
To advocate.
Okay, let me redo that. Okay. All right, ladies, let's let the people know what they can do to advocate today.
Social media, use your voice. Go ahead and spread the word to whoever you know, and it's gonna be for the good in the long run, because OT is it fills in the cracks of PT and anything else. So just go ahead and share, like, comment. We want to see your engagement. We want to. What would you guys want from this, actually?
I think probably just to get our point across, and at the end of the day, well, we all have our opinions, but it's just kind of putting our how we're looking at the situation and how we would like for it to I guess get better rather than worsen, and at the end of the day impact people to try to see through what we're looking at in this profession and be like, oh, okay, then occupational therapy is really is important and shouldn't be as overlooked as it is.
It'd be nice if this podcast could get to someone higher who's in that office, who's going to be deciding on that bill, if that makes sense. Because yeah, it is important for people to know who we are, what we want, what we do, what we can do, and the importance of what we do. Um, you know, write a letter to your legislator. Post on your social medias.
Join state occupational therapy associations.
Yes.
Because they are the ones that are advocating for us, for students, and for our clients.
And most importantly, educate your coworkers and community. Half of the advocacy battle is awareness. So this doesn't mean go on a rant and fight people who don't have your opinion, but try to inform them with evidence, with facts,
Without bias.
without bias. Yes, especially that. I guess just really try to get your point across by saying things and telling them how this affects everybody overall, just not like a certain person or anything like that. And maybe you can change some minds.
Okay, well,
cool.
I really feel like this went good, you guys. And if anyone has any questions or wants to know what they can do, just like Rebecca had said, just advocate and inform, educate.
Yes, educate
as much as you can. I would definitely recommend OT, to anyone who's looking for a career that they want to be fulfilled, and that's also gonna, be a career in the long run. Because we're OTs, we're at the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. We're not the bottom. We're the soldiers.
That.
And then we have our OTRs, our registered occupational therapists,
like the drill instructors.
Oh yeah.
And doctors of occupational therapy.
Yes,
like
one of our
top
teachers,
man.
right? Yeah, our A&P teacher. He's amazing too.
Love him so much.
So yeah, stay informed, stay vocal, and most importantly, stay proud of your profession. We are proud of what we chose to go into, even though we are barely into the first semester. But we've seen what this profession can bring to others, and we are proud to be able to be one of those that can help these people get back to their daily lives. And even if your profession is nursing, if it's anything else that falls under this category, be proud of why you're there. Remind yourself every day that you're here for a reason and you're here for the people.
This is a wake-up call, y'all. OT cannot afford to be invisible anymore.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we are Get a Grip podcast, and thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.